Everyone who has autism should not be ashamed to ask for help and ashamed to receive it. So thank you all for allowing this to happen, allowing him to come and help me, and just supporting me in this.
What has the reaction been like for you guys since the episode aired? It's been pretty epic.
Yeah. For me, I've received so many texts, so many comments, so many people reaching out and just telling me stories that about them having autism or their kids having autism. It's just such powerful stuff. And it's really like every single thing I read just like touches my heart. I feel so proud to get to represent such a big, amazing community.
For me, it's kind of surreal because you get right back into it, right? First thing I do when I wake up is Jade's like, my daughter goes, Dad, I want my French toast sticks. My son's like, I want my eggs scrambled. So you get right back in the mode. But from what I've had so far, it's been absolutely amazing. Just close friends and family members also sharing with me that I didn't know. I mean, I just had a call from a buddy this morning talking about his son being autistic, and he was kind of ashamed to say anything, and he saw our moment. And so there's a ton of those situations that already happened that are just a blessing. It's been amazing.
And were you surprised at all at how viral this went? Like, what does that impact mean to you both?
For me, I knew that it would be big. Like I knew seeing Jeff cry and knowing how many things he's seen and that he's been doing this for like my entire life. Like Survivor's older than me, and that this is the first time I've seen him have such a big reaction, and that just really hit me that like wow, this is really powerful stuff. And like if it's impacting him in such a way, like I can only imagine how it's going to impact other people. And then seeing that in real time as this came out, and like I tried to like take a step away, not go on my phone. Like I actually went bowling last night after after the show aired to try to like take a reset and like get some space with my close friends and family. And it but like now everything, seeing so much, it's like wow, like it's so much bigger than I ever expected.
It's been the same. I think that for me personally, just how strong Eva is, and what she was able to do kind of on the spot in that situation. It taking off to me is like I'm happy, but I'm also so thankful to just be a part of it. So it is surreal how it's taken off, but it's a good thing, right? I feel like it supports my theory that humanity, we're all good, so it's good. We needed it. It was good.
Absolutely. And even like you said, in all 48 seasons, Jeff hosting Survivor, we've never seen tears like that. What did that impact mean to you?
Yeah. I had no idea because I mean, yeah, like I wasn't alive when this started. So I'm not the biggest like Survivor nerd, don't know everything, but hearing that this is like the first time that he's like really cried, I was so amazed and just honored to be that person that brought him to tears, and tears of joy at that too is so beautiful.
Now, Eva, you bravely explained in the episode, as we all saw, that you didn't have the capability in that moment to ground yourself because you were overstimulated. Was it frightening for you, especially because there were so many cameras capturing that moment?
Honestly, I had grown very accustomed to the cameras. It's very surprising how quick you get used to being filmed all the time. For me, I wasn't aware of the cameras, the fact that this was going to be on TV. I was just so like fixated on this horrible table maze that I have in my brain. My mind is just spinning and it's stuck in this cycle. And that's what happens when I get these episodes, is that I just can't get out of this cycle of being like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? What's going on? And it just was really building and building, and all this pressure, both that I've put on myself as well as the situation has put on me. But that if I can't land this last most important ball, somebody on my tribe is going home, and that could be me. And I just didn't want to let my tribe mates down. I didn't want to let myself down. And it was really all this just huge pressure that had built, and the stimulus is so huge too, that second that it's over, I get even more overwhelmed because all of a sudden everyone's screaming and they're jumping and they're excited and it's happy and they're trying to comfort me, but they don't understand what's happening. And it's just so much that my brain is elsewhere. My brain is gone. I am ungrounded. I cannot control myself, and I'm not even aware of the situation. I'm not aware of what I'm doing. I just know that like my brain is just going and going and going.
Now, Joe was the only one that you had kind of confided in, the only one you told about your autism and the episodes that you have. What was it about Joe that made you have that trust in him?
Yeah, I knew the second that I met him when we stepped off those boats and everybody is first talking to each other and explaining like where they're from, what their name is, like what their family is like, this and that. And people, they start by saying like what their job is and all these things, their accomplishments. But Joe is an extremely accomplished man. He's done so many great things and he really is a real world superhero in his work, in all the things he does. And instead of listing all these accomplishments as a firefighter and doing national search and rescue and his football career that from college, like none of those things were the most important to him. The first thing he wanted to tell us was how much he loved his kids, how amazing of a wife and children that he had back at home for him, and how proud he was to be a father. And I could just tell from how he spoke of them that this was a strong, caring man. And I knew immediately that this was the person that I was going to tell. I knew I wanted to tell someone going into the game, and Joe was 100% the perfect person for that.
Joe, what does it mean to you to hear that?
It's it's just hard not to get emotional because I love, even care about her so much. And in life, right, you hope that people get to see you for who you really are, and that you make genuine connections in life. And to hear her say that from, a stranger, right? Like we all were strangers. And to hear that, it just it's the most powerful compliment I've ever received in my life. So it means a lot to me.
Jeff allowed you to cross tribal lines, which is not something that happens. What did you think of him allowing you to do that and be there for Eva in that moment?
I can't say enough about Jeff. He's such a wonderful person. And I just mean that him allowing that to happen, right? Obviously, we're all doing this on the fly. This is something that's happening in real time. It's a natural event that who would have known, right? And even I had discussed, you know, what she needed, I hadn't seen it. And so we're all processing this. Like, and she's so tough. She's so talented that you also don't want to take away am I overreacting? Like, is this just something she's working through because she's a competitor? So it's also like, hey, she's gonna get through this. This is just her like working through as I would be and have upset, and so you're looking at this cues, and I think that Jeff's ability to sense the moment and take this chance of like, hey, I feel this is where it's going. I'm stuck. We're all kind of stuck. And the fact that he allowed me to do that just speaks of his character too, and his ability to be so good at what he does. I wish people could understand there's so much going on in the moment. We're in the middle of a competition, and even though it might seem small to some, it's not in the game that we all love and that we tried so hard to be a part of. To have this person go through this and have him respond like that without hesitation just speaks to him. And I was so grateful that he allowed, because I was ready 10 minutes before that. I was like, let's, and I'm so glad it didn't, because she was kicking butt and she did. She did it. But to allow me to help at the end, I will never be able to explain how thankful I am for Jeff for that.
Yeah, I mean, watching you the entire time looking over at her, you could tell that you wanted to go over there and help her, but she did it, and then you were there for her when she needed you. It was a great moment. Eva, what does this moment mean for you? Not only in raising awareness, really, but also giving hope and a sense of relatability to anybody at home that also has autism and experiences similar episodes and maybe doesn't feel seen by it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel that in most mainstream media, autism is displayed in a very specific way. And I am very different than what that stereotypical version of autism is. I have lived an extremely successful life where I have achieved great things academically. I'm getting my PhD. I'm an athlete. I've had great success in so many ways. And many people don't even know that I have autism. And then to see me, someone who many people look up to, and see that I struggle with the same things that they do, that's something that I go through and that I can recover from and still find success and acceptance, that I think will mean the world to so many people. Because I have certainly never seen any show, any movie, anything that has shown somebody having a episode in this way, and it's so real and it's such a part of so many people's lives that they go through this. And now, not just people with autism seeing this and seeing themselves, but people who know someone who has autism and seeing this, or even people who don't, but now they understand more about what autism looks like and the signs, and understanding that like this is a thing that people deal with and that they can get through, and that I got through it. I did what I needed to do, and that not only was I so vulnerable to show this, but I received so much support when I did, and that people will accept you. And the entire cast and crew have been so accepting of me and so understanding and caring. And I had been worried about that. Like Joe was the one person I told to begin with, and he had immediately accepted me and shown me so much love. But telling everyone else, all these strangers, people I'd never met out there on other tribes, them seeing this and hearing these things from me for the first time, I was worried, like, what will they think of me? But not a single person looked at me like I was crazy or like they pitied me. They all showed me so much care and respect. And looking around at people I'd never met crying because they are moved so much by my story, it's an amazing experience. And I think it's an amazing thing for other people to see that you can be accepted, that autism is not something wrong with you, and that it is something that you can have success in and celebrate, and that it is just part of who you are. And that's really the message that I want to get across. And then further beyond on that is that Joe, the way he reacted to me, that I had told him what I needed and that he was willing and able to help me, and that so many people will see that and be like, I want to be the Joe for someone else, and that they will look up to him and be like, how can I be somebody else's superhero like Joe was for me?
The guest essay for Variety that Jeff wrote, I think there were some really poignant things in there. Obviously, we know that this moment touched him. I'm going to read two things that he said and just get your thoughts on it. He said that this moment doesn't belong to Survivor, it belongs to all of us. And that what followed was one of the most beautiful and powerful moments he's ever witnessed, not just as a producer of Survivor, but as a human being. What are your thoughts on that and the lessons that people are going to take from this?
I'm speechless. You know, that coming from him, um, it's just simply put, you know, in order to have the ability to do what I think are great things, you have to have the person that's going to give you that opportunity. And Eva was that for me. You know, I just had some tough things in my life, and things were turning around, and to meet someone like that is a blessing. So it really starts with her, and had Eva not been willing to tell me, had she not, or tried to keep it to herself, or chosen someone else like that, it allowed me to have this connection with her. And when I hear Jeff say something like that, I'm so thankful I was able to be a part of something like that, and that it's going to help other people. It's just, you know, that's what this living is all about. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't go on to Survivor with the quest of inspiring people. I went on to
Yeah.
Survivor because I loved the game, because I
Yeah.
was excited by it. I thought it was an amazing opportunity, adventure of a lifetime. And then along the way, I happened to have this true human experience. And Survivor really is a representation of our lives. And we make this society, we build it out there from the people that we're put in this situation with in the crazy game. But it shows our life. And in this episode we see that in so many ways. I think just the entire episode in general, we see the beautiful conversation at Vula earlier, which shows the key points of other people's lives, from Shaheen and Joe's backstory of his parents, and the things that Camilla's family went through, and that is life. And then we see my experience later, and that is my life. And we're able to capture so many parts of people's human experiences out there, and it goes beyond the game in so many ways. And so getting to be one of those people that shows my true life and shares that with the world, and that this is something that can help so many, it is so amazing, and is nothing I ever expected to have in my life.
And Joe, you mentioned your kids on the show, and how you would want someone to do that for your daughter. Did you get to watch this episode with your family? What was their reaction?
Yeah, you know, we I went to a small event because we wanted to make sure that it was just such a moving piece that all the proceeds of the night are going to go to Autism Speaks in honor of Eva. So uh, once we got home, and my daughter was waiting there, and she was super excited, and just wants to watch the challenge because she wants to see Eva dominate, and she thinks that the world of Eva. So that was really cool. And watching it, it's hard to get out, but she just um excuse me. she just said, that's my daddy. So she was super proud, super proud. So that's, you know, as a father, like, you know, that's it. That's the highest point of the mountain you could be at, is feeling your kids be proud of you, is like is gold. It's just pure gold. So I'm so thankful that I was able to be in that situation and help them. So it was great. She thinks the world of Eva. So it was really cool to see her finish it and then get some help from dad too. Was like, what else do you want? You know, that's great.
You guys gotta stop making me cry.
I know, I'm crying too. It's so, oh, so beautiful, Joe.
And Eva, you're home now because you wanted to watch the episode with your family, I heard. So what was that like watching it back with your family?
So my parents are unspoiled. They don't know what happens in this season. And so I told them that like there was going to be a big autism related incident in this episode and they were prepared for that. But them watching the challenge and I was with my parents, with my sister, with my amazing boyfriend and one of my best friends, and every person was showing me so much love and support, like holding my best friend's hand and my boyfriend's hand and just squeezing them as I'm watching this, and everybody's crying. And my parents, like my mom afterwards, like was silent for a second and then she turns to me, she's like, I knew you would never give up. Like I knew you would push through this. And they had expected when I said there was an autism related incident that it was going to be that I wasn't able to finish a challenge or I had to be pulled out for some reason or another, that it was too much. And so them having that expectation and then seeing how I powered through and that I was able to get to the end, and then how amazingly the situation was handled. My mom is just dying to meet Joe and wants to give him the biggest hug in the whole world. And truly believe that God was with me in that moment and that God had a plan for me, in that I was given such an amazing guardian angel in Joe in this game.